Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. Before we get started, I want to make sure that I apologize to you for the people putting on the roof 2 doors down. Today we're going to be talking about Lisa Eldridge's new lipsticks, and we're going to be doing the foundation and getting my feelings on what I think of it. And if you're up for that, then just keep watching. So as you look at my skin, you can see I've got some stuff going on, and at first I was upset about that, and then I thought, no, don't be upset, because this is everyday kind of stuff people have to go through with their foundations, right? Let's get this part of my hair up and out of the way. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the new Lisa Eldridge blister pack of the foundation that she's going to be releasing, and I'm excited about this. In her video, Lisa used one of these kind of paddle brushes, and I don't know where my Sigma one went. Could be in any of the containers around here. So I don't know though. I hate this kind of a brush. I'm not a real makeup artist, so I know that she's a lot more skilled with this. So she said that the best way that this foundation does is with fingers or brush. I guess I could use a clean, you want to use a clean one. Here's a clean Sigma F47. I don't think I have a clean new, this is Reffer's new brush. I love it. As you can see, it's not clean. Oh, by the way, hopefully if this goes up in time, these are still on sale at Reffer. Oh, yeah, the biggest sale I've ever seen them have. I'll link that below in the description box, which you get to by hitting the down more, show more if you're on a computer. And if you're not on a computer, well, then all you gotta do is press the caret next to the title on a mobile device. I'm not gonna use a sponge because I watched her video. I'll link that below too. And she said, she never said a sponge. So that video is really good. Has some really, really great tips about how you test, like she would test an inch away from your ear, and she tells why. I'm not going to go into all that. We're going to do that same thing with these Q-tips. But before we do that, I'm going to get this. This is a mixing tray. First of all, I want to go into this in my favorites. Look at this real close. Do you see that steampunk thing? Who does this remind you of? All right, I'm going to talk about this in my favorites. Thank you again, Susie. I use this almost every day. And so Susie sent this to me, but there's a really cool story that goes along with it, and I'm not going to say it in this video. But what I'm going to do is I've got out my Lancome foundations that I love. One by Mercier, one by Giorgio Armani. And I'm going to put them on here, okay, so we can compare for you in case you have any of these foundations. That way you can, make an educated decision on which one you think you may want to try. But this, of course, came to me by way of purchasing one of her new holiday lipsticks. Okay, that's how you get this. I'll put on the new lipstick that I got with this. Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for right now, here they are on the back. It says what they are. So I've got light 01 through 4. And yeah, where does it say what these are? We need to go to her website and get those descriptions, but I'll put them here. And just looking at this, I'm going to guess on light 01. That's what I think. I'm just going to open that one really quick here, because just on the corner. And I'm going to pull it down so I can get a little bit, because I just have this feeling, well, now that I'm looking at it, we might have to do it with all of them, because this one might be too light. So let me get that out of there, and let's do Lisa's trick where I come an inch, and I'm going to bring that down. I do think that 01 is too light. Let's go with 02. Okay, let's put that one right here. '02, I think, is going to be it. Okay, see, I totally would have bought the wrong foundation. Looking at 03, I'm guessing 03 is definitely going to be a little too dark, but let's try it. Darn it, I've got it on my thumbnail, so this is coming forward just a little bit too much, but according to Lisa, who I emphatically trust. Yeah. Okay, so my perfect shade is 02. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 02 on my little mixing tray here with these other foundations so that you can see those before we move on. The horizontal one is Lisa Eldridge's new foundation. Let's just put on a little bit so I can see how the consistency is going to be and try this out and see with my fingers on this side. Okay. If I had a bottle of this stuff, I would use it with a sponge just to see. But because I don't have very much and a sponge eats up a lot, I'm not going to do that, obviously. But let's put a dot right there. And I would have refilmed on a day where they're not doing that. I would have just said, oh, I'm not going to film today. But I don't have the luxury of that anymore. I mean, because that would have me filming on a day where I need to go over and help my mom. So I don't have the luxury of going, oh, there's crap going on in the neighborhood. I'm not going to film today. I have to film when I can. We're not going to powder the foundation because it's self-setting. But I am going to hit this spot right here because I don't want to use a concealer and see if I can get it to build up a little more there. I'm going to put a little under here because, like I said, I don't want to use a concealer. I just want the foundation to be the only thing. And when I watched Lisa do this, she said you can use powder if you want, but, wait a few minutes to see how it's going to set up because it does set itself. And now we're going to bring it on the other side. We're going to use a brush, same amount, and just putting it on the Q-tip and moving it around. I mean, Lisa is like, maybe I should use a Q-tip every day. All right, I'm going to use this brush now on this side. I love Lisa. You guys know that, right? You guys know what a big fangirl I am of Lisa. And did you know that Lisa is, if you don't, I mean, I've said it so many times, it's not funny, but Lisa is actually the creative director of Lancome. She went to work at Lancome in that position when I started my YouTube channel back in 2015. And as far as I know, she's still in that. Even though she has her own brand here going, she's still the senior creative director at Lancome, I think. In any case, I mean, you don't get to be that and not know your stuff, okay? So as I understand it, she is the person who, before that, she revamped or brought or revived or something, Boots 7. Okay, this is, believe it or not, I did exfoliate. But yeah, I'm having a little peeling stuff going on there. That's not Lisa's foundation. That's my skin, and that's just as good as it's going to get. But how this foundation looks, I think, brush, I think it looks a little better on the finger side, at least with this brush. It does. I like how this feels. I am going to use a little bit more. I just want to use that brush. Let's put that right here because I just want to take a paddle brush and see. Because I saw where she painted it on. And I don't have good luck doing this with other foundations. But don't you know, dang it, that really does. Maybe it's just the foundations I use with this paddle brush that's never really worked for me. But, that looks pretty good. And you do get enough in this blister pack to do your face at least one time. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to give that a few minutes. It's been a few minutes. I did not powder. I want to see how, if I don't use powder, how will this go on here? So I'm going to take my BK Beauty 102. This is a fantastic powder brush I love. And I'm just going to bring this on my face. And normally the reason that I don't do that, I always powder first, is because I don't like how it sticks in one spot without powder. So let's see, is that what's going to happen here? Naturally, a cream product would have been fantastic, but I like powder products better, so I just kind of got to know, is this going to affect the way that looks on my face? Because you guys know I don't like that stripe thing. I like to diffuse. I'm going to put this blush on. With my glasses on, I can see that it doesn't look as good as I thought. But I normally use a pore smoothing primer, so I don't know what that would have done over. I don't like the way this is sitting in my pores. I would also be able to buff that better with powder. And let's see what happens if I take a powder I absolutely love and come over the worst side of my face. How about this side? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I thought the camera was on and I'm sitting here talking about how I'm pressing powder with a damp sponge like I normally do with my Lancome powder. And then I looked up and the numbers weren't moving and I'm like, crap, I wasn't even recording. Okay, so I think that that did get better with the application of powder. And I think had I put it over a primer, it would have been even better still. Something else I would tell you is that nobody is this close to your face. I am on top of this camera and it's in HD, so you are seeing every line, every pore, every crevice on my face. I think that this looks a lot better, for me anyway, if it's powdered down. And it would have looked a lot better still had I used a primer, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and powder the other side. We'll do this one live. Now this was the side that I used my fingers on. I really am gonna get this foundation when it comes out because I want to see how it will behave if I use it with a damp sponge, and I just don't have enough to do that today. And again, I apologize. I did exfoliate my face, but apparently it wants to peel off even more. Oh yeah, treated like any other foundation I wear, I think that that is much better using powder, even though it's self-setting and you don't need it. I think it looks better with powder. Okay, then let's do the mouth. I picked up a new lip liner and a new lipstick. The shades that I got were Blush Lightly. I wish I'd have listened to my gut and got Petal, because this to me doesn't seem like it's blushed lightly enough. The whole thing came about because people gave her feedback that this shade here, Velvet Blush, they loved it, but they wanted this like the same tone lighter. So this is Velvet Blush, and this is Velvet Blush Lightly. As you can tell, it is lighter, but it's not light enough. I thought it'd be a little lighter than that. So yeah, I kind of wish that I had gotten Petal. Now I'm going to show you next to my favorite lipstick, and it's rattling in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not. It broke. Okay, so there's Muse next to Blush Lightly, next to Velvet Blush. Okay, so that is Muse, Velvet, Blush Lightly, and Velvet Blush. First, I want to go on here and tell you guys I love, 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 love Lisa. But just for me personally, I'm not going to buy any more of the ones. I think she has some that aren't as dry as these, but see, look, I don't know if you'll be able to tell this or not. See, it broke at the base. And then when you fix it, of course, you have to like touch the velvet. Don't you wonder how they did the velvet in the first place? But see, it's sliding all over it. It also happened to ribbon, but that was like, look at my poor ribbon. It couldn't happen to Velvet Morning. I don't wear Velvet Morning as much as I do ribbon because I love blue, red. So I was heartbroken. And I thought, okay, well, I got the bullet up too far, right? I'm like putting it up like that and then putting it on there. So with Muse, I didn't. I always kept it down like this when I would put it on to make sure that didn't do it. And it still broke. So I wrote the company about it. And I'm like, I love Lisa. She's somebody I adore, and I'm so upset to have to tell you this, but I can't help it, okay? Because they're not cheap lipsticks, and I can't buy another one if this is going to happen. I'm like, what causes it to happen? And I explained to them everything I just did, and they were like, we're so sorry. Sometimes in shipping, if people aren't gentle with them or whatever, and I'm like, I may have dropped ribbon on the floor once. Maybe that's why it broke, but Muse, I have taken such good care of because I don't know nothing, okay? But this is what I think it is. I think in order for them to get that velvet on the lipstick, it has to be a certain dryness, this matte that people love about these lipsticks, how they're a comfortable matte and everything, and they truly are. But I think because of the formula they need it to be to get the velvet on there, that maybe it's too dry, so that when you put this lipstick on, it drags against your lips and it can just snap off. I think that's what happened. I'll always buy these pencils though. I love the pencils, but those lipsticks I have to be done with because I can't spend that kind of money and then them break. Even though customer service is awesome. They're sending me 2 new lipsticks to replace those. But I'm afraid it'll still happen. So yeah, even though I want Petal, I'm scared to buy it. But these lip liners, I love them. I don't just put on the lipstick because I know that this is going to hang around for all day. The lipsticks hang around for a pretty good long time, but I want to make sure that my color never changes throughout the day, even if my lipstick wears off. So I fill in my mouth, and that will ensure that I'll keep my color almost all day. This is the color of Velvet Blush Lightly, and now I'm going to take the lipstick, okay, and do this. Don't drag. I think that's part of the problem, is I think if you do this, short little strokes, but I think the problem comes in from dragging across there and it just hangs up on my lip and then busts the bullet. That's how that looks. Now I couldn't afford to pick up a lip gloss in that, so I do have Muse. So I'm going to put Muse over the top of this. There you go, and I just gotta tell you, one of the best lip glosses going, aside from Lancome's, is Lisa Eldridge. That's my thoughts on the matter. I'll let you know if anything rude happens, like it wears off. This is a 5-hour check-in, obviously. That's what I'm waving around my hand for. I've not really been doing anything, just kind of sitting on the computer editing and answering comments. And this is at the 11-hour mark. I've ate a couple of times now, and I'm laughing because of how much more my skin is peeling and how terrible this looks. But it didn't really settle down into any of my lines, so that's good. Leave me your thoughts below and let me know whether or not you guys are going to pick it up and what you think. Have you got a blister pack of this foundation? How did it do on you? Let me know. As always, I think you guys are tops. You're the best part of the Fritzy family. And if you're not having a blessed day, just go be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you. See ya. Bye. And I'm out.
2 doors down, they're laughing and drinking and pounding hammers, and 2 doors down, yeah, I hope they're not drinking, but, the way they're pounding them hammers. The flat paddle foundation brushes, which and a couple more. One from Mercier, one from Giorgio Armano. Hey, Giorgio. Giorgio. I don't know. I'm not French. Is that French? But let's just open these up here on the corner. Down on the corner, out in the street. Yeah, we got some foundation, gonna put it on our feet. It rhymed, Call me Anytime you want makeup done on your face, call me. Whoa, call me. You know, okay, Debbie Harris, I'm not, okay? But you have to admit that one way or another, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you one way. Maybe next week. No, that ain't how that goes. One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one way. Maybe next week. We have some lipstick on our teeth. Lipstick on our teeth. Ah.